Today, I am excited to start my mini series right now, which is going to be called The Biggest Lies in Real Estate. And we're going to call it the mini series. And today, I'm going to talk about something I see, which is a giant lie in the real estate investing business, which is wholesaling 100% of your deals makes the most sense because of simplicity. And I got to tell you, that might be some of the dumbest advice you'll ever get. And I'm going to explain exactly why that is stupid on this video. And you should just use wholesaling as an exit strategy, but not have it be your entire business. And I'm going to logically walk you through why that is a bad idea to just wholesale everything. So if you're not familiar with me, my name's Greg Hellback. I've been doing this business for 10 years. I am not a guru. I don't have any coaching or anything like that. I'm actively in the real estate business every single day, buying and selling and renting and flipping and doing some wholesaling. And today, the topic of, like I said, my real estate biggest lies series here is wholesaling every single house you do and running a 100% wholesale company. So it's simplicity and it's scale. And I'm going to tell you why that's bad advice. Now, first of all, if you're not familiar with wholesaling, it's when you get a property under contract, most likely direct to the seller, and you assign your contract for a fee to somebody else, and then they take your place over in that contract. In a nutshell, wholesaling is just flipping paper for a profit. That's literally what it is. You're never taking title. You're not really taking much risk, minus your credibility if you can't close, and maybe an earnest money deposit. But it's a relatively low risk, high reward situation. But the reason why it's dumb to do on every deal is because, number one, if you're wholesaling everything, you really can't claim that you're buying houses because you're not buying houses. You're wholesaling the house. So unless you can close 100% of your deals, you shouldn't be talking to sellers saying, oh, I buy houses cash, I can close fast. Because if you're never closing on them, then you're ultimately like basically false advertising. So there are some situations where it doesn't make sense to wholesale the house, right? When, like, for example, if the seller needs somebody to get it done in a week, and even if you have the best buyers list in the world, if you're relying on somebody else to get that deal to succeed, you shouldn't be doing that, right? You should just take it down yourself if the price is right. So there are some situations where it doesn't make sense to wholesale somebody's house because they just need one buyer and certainty. And, if the numbers are good enough, you just buy it yourself. So number one, sometimes with sellers, it doesn't make sense to do that. Now, listen, we wholesale half of our stuff. We do it all day, every day, and twice on Sunday. And we've had a very good reputation wholesaling because we always do it the right way. Now, there are deals where I'm going to go into contract to buy it. There's no contingencies in the contract. And it's such a good deal that if I don't wholesale it, I'm going to buy it no matter what. Therefore, I can tell the seller we're buying their house and closing by, whatever date, because whether I wholesale it or not doesn't matter because I'm closing no matter what that date because I'm already committed to buying it, right? And I can wholesale that house and not have to worry about it because if that buyer flakes out, I'm still going to close, right? And when we do deals where it's like, I call them wholesale-only deals where we don't like the numbers or we don't like the location, we tell the seller we're wholesaling the house. We say, hey, we're not the end buyer. We can get you that number you want. But we're probably going to assign it to somebody else and they're going to ultimately buy it and we're going to make a profit in the middle. Are you okay with that? And if they're okay with that, we do that. They never get upset that we wholesale it because they knew in advance what we were doing. So being a wholesale only company is stupid because you're making promises and you can't fulfill those promises unless the end buyer comes in and closes. So that's number one, why it's stupid. Number two, if you are marketing the sellers all day long and spending money on marketing and getting leads in the door, there are going to be some deals that if you just bought the house and closed on it, you would make triple what you'd make wholesaling it. And then people say, well, yeah, but then you got to own the house and you got to get insurance and you got to get a lender. It's like, dude, if you got to get insurance and own a house for 2 months and you can make triple what you would make wholesaling it, you'd be dumb not to, right? I'm not saying you got to do that every house, but you should do that on the home runs. And instead of making 50 grand, you can make 150 grand. And that's like doing 10 wholesales. Like, it's insane on one transaction. So there are going to be deals when you're doing enough marketing to where if you wholesale, you might make 50 grand in a week. But if you literally buy it and own it for 2 months, you'll make 150 grand on the same damn property, doing the same damn thing, except instead of assigning the contract, you're literally closing on it, getting a lender, getting insurance, cleaning it out and selling it. You're not rehabbing it. I'm talking wholesale, clean out and relist properties. So you're going to leave an insane amount of money on the table. And the best deals should never get wholesaled. They should always be bought. They should always be exposed to the MLS. And that's how you really have good, profitable businesses, is you maximize the home runs. And the third reason why you shouldn't be a wholesale only company is because ultimately wholesaling is a giant grind, right? You're buying, you're selling, and you can make good money, and it's certainly better than most things, but it's ultimately a grind. You have to keep transacting real estate to keep making money, right? It's like you got to keep pushing that boulder down the road in order to keep having the paychecks come up. And yeah, you can systemize your business, you can automate your business, of course, but ultimately it is built upon active transactional real estate buying and selling. When the deal closes, you got to go get another one. When the deal closes, you got to go get another one. And if you're not keeping some rentals, you're making a huge mistake. And here is exactly why. If you're wholesaling and you're marketing direct to owners and you're getting these true deals at a true discount, every once in a while, or if you're doing enough marketing, probably once a month, you're going to run into a property that you can literally keep as a rental and still make a wholesale fee on it. And I'm going to tell you why that would work. If you get a property at 50 cents on the dollar minus repairs, which they are out there, right? 50, 60 cents on the dollar minus repairs, and you buy it at that number, you can refinance the property and you can get it at 70% refinance and still make like 30 grand in tax-free money. So it's basically your wholesale fee without getting taxed, without giving you accounting advice. And you keep that property, you have the 30% equity, you have no money in the deal, you got paid to do the deal tax-free, and it'll make cash flow every month, and then you'll build your wealth up. So if you're not cherry picking the absolute best deals to rent, you are making a ginormous mistake just wholesaling everything. You'll look back in 5 years and say, oh my goodness, I wholesaled 495 houses or whatever you did. And that's not a knock on you. That's great if you're doing that. That's high achievement. That's awesome. You're making money. I hope you're saving it and you're paying your taxes and whatnot. But you'll look back and say, out of the 495 houses I wholesaled, if I only kept 30 of them, I'd be triple the wealth, right? Triple the net worth. Because when you can stack your equity up with these good deals on a balance sheet, you will look amazing and you'll probably be a multi-millionaire because you're stacking rentals and you're using that equity properly. So if you're just wholesaling and you're giving these things away, even if you're making big wholesale fees, you are missing the picture. And I'm not saying go out and be a giant land baron and own a gajillion rentals. I'm saying keep the best ones for yourself and give yourself the chance to have some big time wealth with rentals. Because if you have 40 rentals and they actually cash flow, maybe not that much, but a little bit, you're going to have a lot of equity that you can trade up into bigger deals or sell and, whatever. But feel free to disagree with me. I'm obviously open to debating this, but I think if you ask 100 very successful real estate entrepreneurs if wholesaling everything for simplicity makes sense, they will tell you it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense to do that. You should wholesale the stuff you want to wholesale and keep the best stuff or flip the stuff you can make triple on. And that's the first topic. So stay tuned for the next topic. I'm not going to tell you what it's about. I'm going to keep you on your toes. And if you are in the Hudson Valley or the Seattle market or you're in Delaware, those are the 3 areas we operate in, and you have a deal you want to wholesale to me, send me an email at greg@velocityhousebuyers.com. That's greg@velocityhousebuyers.com, or hit me up on Instagram at grego37. I'll see you on the next video.